Hey, what's up, everybody? Don't know why I keep being awake during the day lately. Don't know how that's happening. So, because I'm a self-obsessed psychopath who tracks down every single mention of my name on the internet ever, one of my hobbies is when people think that I definitely won't respond to something or see it, to immediately respond as fast as possible and scare the shit out of them. So, shouts out to BB's World, who tagged me in an anime YouTuber tag game where people are passing around answering 5 questions and about their anime history sort of thing. I checked out her video and some others from people in the tag thing, and I thought, hey, I love answering questions about myself, and I love participating in fun YouTuber event type things, so why the hell not? So question 1, which I'll answer quickly because I've kind of gone through my whole anime history in videos before, but how old was I when I started watching anime? I was... Depends on your definition. If we're talking Pokemon, then I was like 7. And if we're talking like when I got into anime like Ninja Scroll and Cowboy Bebop and when Adult Swim started, then I would be 10, because it was late 2001, early 2002 that I discovered Adult Swim and the idea of anime as a thing, as opposed to just watching Pokemon because it was on. Number 2, what inspires you to keep doing YouTube? Which is kind of a funny question for me, because I know a lot of the people doing this tag game will be much smaller channels who are probably more doing this out of a hobby or just something fun to do, but for me it's my career, so money is a big part of what inspires me to keep doing YouTube, aside from the fact that, you know, it's all I like doing and all that's fun for me to do. Obviously, if it was just about the money, I wouldn't do so much damn vlogging and let's plays that no one watches. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I just really like talking and sharing every random thought I have in my head. It's a good time. It's like the one thing I consider myself relatively skilled at. It's a skill I've been building more than anything else. So it's kind of like when you do something for so long that it becomes the only thing you're good at, and then you forget about everything. Like, I feel like if I stopped doing YouTube, I would have no real skills anymore, aside from ones that carry over from YouTube. Like, anything I could do, maybe I could be a salesman or something, because I can certainly talk somebody's fucking ear off about something. Question 3, what is your favorite genre? And one of the other videos also had the question, what is your favorite anime of that genre? My favorite genre is hard to say, because there's no one that, like, I particularly think I gravitate to. Like, if you look at my favorite anime, they fall into every different type of show. I don't think there's any genre I'm still, like, completely against. I'm trying to think if that's true. No? I think I like I think I have at least one, like, show I absolutely love in any genre you could possibly name. But if I had to pick a favorite genre, it would be cyberpunk. Which it's kind of hard to define, like, where's the line between what is cyberpunk and what isn't. Like, a lot of people consider Serial Experiments Lain cyberpunk, although it doesn't necessarily have a lot of the aesthetic of it. Or, personally, I like to think of some of these video game shows, like Log Horizon has a lot of the same appeal as cyberpunk, where it's about exploring, you know, our relationship with technology and stuff. Although that show could also be considered a fantasy show. Whatever. There's not a lot of cyberpunk anime, but I find all of it inherently interesting for being cyberpunk, so that's why I'd pick that as my favorite genre. Not to say that I've liked all the ones I've seen, but my favorite in the genre is easily Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. I don't think you can get a better sci-fi or cyberpunk show than that. It just goes into so much detail about the world, and it really, like, brings to life what life will be like in that society, you know. I know that there was once a time where I put Psychopath slightly higher on a favorites list once, and I I've regretted that ever since, just because I do think Psycho-Pass has a stronger central narrative and characters, but you just can't top the sheer number of ideas in Ghost in the Shell, and especially because it feels so real. Like, a big part of the appeal for Ghost in the Shell is that I actually think the future is going to be fairly similar to Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, whereas Psycho-Pass is goofy. What is your favorite kind of video to make? That is a great question, and the answer really is the big long ones. Like, it has to go to that, because those are by far the most gratifying. The most fun for me is when I have to keep coming up with my point as I'm going. Like, when I'm writing something and I'm trying to get this idea out, and I have to find the right way to explain it in the middle of a script. And, like, with a lot of my shorter videos, those ones are like, I have the whole idea all at once. You know, like, I figure out exactly what I'm going to say, and then it's just a matter of typing it out and bringing it into existence. But with the longer videos, oftentimes I'm still sort of searching for the justification for the big idea within the show. So, you know, like, when I'm watching a show bit by bit and then writing about it, there's a lot more revelation happening and sort of realizing, like, why I felt those, like, you know, a lot of times I start off with a thesis, like, hey, the Asterisk War sucks, or hey, Sword Art Online is terrible, and then as I'm going through the episodes and, like, reinforcing those points and, like, finding new things to say about it, then it just makes it feel all the more strong. And, like, I remember moments, like, when I was conceptualizing the K-On! Thesis video, where, like, the realization that the show gets better the more of it you watch, or the realization of the whole thing with the explanation of what the K-On! Means, like, in the midsection of season 1, when you know, Yui just says, like, fun things are fun, but then the show continues to explore and, like, sort of deconstruct that idea. Like, realizing those things was, like, mind-blowing in the middle of writing that. Or in the Psycho-Pass video, I remember the whole part where I wrote about the differences between Makishima and Kamui, like, what made one a great villain and the other terrible. I remember, like, writing that with a sense of, like, yes, this is amazing, this is the greatest thing I've ever written. Or any part of the Asterisk War, that was just all around, every part of that was a fucking blast to write. Every single part of it felt amazing. And I had a lot of fun writing the next bigger series that's upcoming. Part 1 will be out by the end of the month for sure. So yeah, there's a new big series coming. Not as big as, like, the Asterisk War or even the Psycho-Pass videos, but it's been a lot of fun to write, and it always feels like when I get into those, that's when it's like it justifies my existence as a YouTuber, sort of. And, like, it's funny too, because I'll put everything else away. Like, if I start working on a big video, then everything else I don't care about anymore, you know? Like, a lot of the, like, I started up all these new little series, and I'd like to keep them going, but, like, a lot of them were kind of placeholders. It's like, how can I keep coming up with ideas until the next big idea comes? Because those are the ones that I get really passionate about, and once they're here, then everything else is sidelined for that. So yeah, that would definitely be the answer to that question. Do you have any friends outside of YouTube that are into anime or that got you into anime? Yeah, pretty much all my friends outside of YouTube are into anime, either by way of me or just by way of having exposure to it. I wouldn't say all of them are, like, super hardcore or anything. Jesus Christ, fucking cars. When I got into anime, it was alongside my cousin Boyd, who I'm still friends with, and, you know, me and him go to Otakon every year. He sort of organizes it. My little brothers are both pretty big anime fans because of me, you know, just sort of pushing it on them all the time over the years. Victor, like, is mostly a mecha guy, like, or he was in his teen years, and like late teens was a big time mech guy. And then over time he's come to just, like, just kind of picks out a show that he'll be into each season, sort of thing. Because his girlfriend Hope is also a really big anime fan. She watches probably more than I do, because she'll watch like all the new shows as they're airing, just like on the weekend. And so Victor and Hope will watch a lot of current anime together. So like Victor is less interested in like what his tastes are and more what can I watch with Hope and talk with her about. So he'll watch just about anything if he's watching it with her, and she watches most of the stuff as it is. And Boyd, also, who I mentioned earlier, has been keeping up with current stuff for the last year and a half or so. So he's done a much better job of that than I do, because I don't keep up with current shit at all. My brother Shade is big into like cute girl comedy shows and high school comedies, which I'm curious if he'll stay into high school comedies now that he's finally graduated high school. But you know, I don't know if he's gonna, as he grows more adult, become more disillusioned with the genre or something. But any kind of like cute, fun comedy series, he's absolutely into. Stuff like Yuri Yuri or Is the Order a Rabbit, K-On!, Chunibyo, Haganai. Like, he loves all those shows. He loved the first season of Ore Gairu. Hated the second season, but I didn't like any of it. And then I've got my friends Trevor and Brandon Tolentino. Both watch like a few anime apiece. They're not like super hardcore into it, but sometimes they'll discover a show and give it a shot. I've got my best friend Dansan, who has seen, well, I won't say, because he hasn't been watching as much anime over the last few years, but at the time I met him, he had seen vastly more than I had. He was a hardcore otaku. I met him because he showed up to school one day with a Lucky Star booklet in 2007, like before this show was licensed or anyone was talking about it. And, you know, I had just gotten into like currently airing anime and fan subs that year. And so this was like a Japanese booklet, and I was like, no fucking way. So I started talking to him about it and got his contact info right before he left school forever. Yeah, me and him became good friends, and he was like, if you go to his, well, I guess I can't link you that. He had a My Anime List account that I forced him to make, and he had like 2,000 completed shows and 4,000 total entries. And that was in like 2009, so whatever he's watched since then is added on. But he doesn't watch nearly as much anymore because he works and stuff. But like, yeah, he definitely had crushed me in terms of viewing. And he taught me how to use torrents, and he taught me how to find more and more shows. So I definitely owe a bit. And he also gave me half of this fucking shit I've got laying around my room. Like half these posters and stuff are courtesy of Dansan. I've got my friend Marcus, who watches a lot of shonen and ecchi stuff. He's really big into any like heavy fan servicey shit and stuff that's like over the top. Loved Food Wars last year. So yeah, I can't think of any other friends that off the top of my head that are around right now, because a lot of my friends are overseas and stuff, and I don't know if they still watch anime. Like, I don't know if, well, my friend Brando never really got big into it, but I don't know if he still does. So yeah, but most of my friends appreciate anime on some level, and I mean, I think I'd be hard to hang out with if you didn't like anime at all. So yeah, and a lot of them come to Otakon with us every year, and even do cosplays and stuff. So like Victor's done a bunch of cosplay, for instance. I still haven't. Oddly enough, I've always wanted to, but I never have. I really want to do a cosplay of Chris Chiaki from Garzy's Wing, but I haven't gotten it organized. And I can't do it with the beard and hair. I gotta find a character I could do with this look if I'm not gonna shave before Otakon. So, yeah. Yeah, that answers the 5 questions. I'm gonna tag Mother's Basement and Best Guy Ever, and the reason I'm tagging both of them is that both of them started up vlogging channels, and neither one of them has fucking used them. Best Guy Ever has his Bestie Boy channel, which he's made one vlog on, and Mother's Basement made the, what's it called? I don't even remember the name of the fucking channel because I never see it in my fucking feed. So, Mother's Basement, make a vlog for Christ's sakes. So I'm tagging those two. Yeah. That's it. I hope you enjoyed.